please.
Okay, all right, cool. Hold on 1 minute. Let me get another mic then. So, okay, all right. So, yeah, you will have these release candidates, right? And you collate them together. That is the first thing that you need to do. And also within this release document as well, you call it release notes actually. So within this release notes, you will also list the bugs as well that are fixed, the bugs that are not fixed. As you know, also in management, also you might actually want to go live with some bugs. That's why it's also possible that it's not going to be like you will have to fix all the bugs that you find within that particular sprint. Some of them you have to go live with them because either because it's difficult to fix and they are not high priority and you can live with it as well. But even though you are going live with those particular bugs, you need to let your stakeholders know that, yeah, these bugs are still there. But also, if you also have a plan to fix them, you might also put that in the release plan that this will be fixed within this particular sprint. Or if you don't have a plan, you can also say, okay, this is low priority, it's not going to be fixed. But you need to let them know that these particular bugs were found, but they're not fixed. The one that are found are fixed. You can also put that in there as part of the done stories. Do you get it now? So that's one thing that you need to put in there. And also for some release plans also that are very technical, you need to put some instructions. Yeah, I remember when I was even like a working in Edinburgh. Actually, this is the time that they wanted to convert me to a BA. Then I was a QA lead actually. So at the end of the release, I also deputized as a release manager at that particular time. But it's a very very technical product actually. It's a product that the energy company were using in the UK. So and you have to install it for the like of those big player in the UK. And some of them you have to install. First, you have to install the application. Application needs to link to the right database, and you have to have the instance of that database. You have to download the old database, install again, and also before you do that, you have to have a backup of the environment. After you've done that, you have to do a quick sanity check or smoke testing as well. You need to document those. So those are the things that I had to actually created, right? And also I also created a what's it called, a user guide for their users actually, because we're talking about a product so technical and it's going to be used by front officers actually within the energy company. So yeah, so there will be a user guide, and to be honest, I was really really impressed with the user guide I created. It was so close to, for those of you that in the era of Windows 95 that they give you that document to install. It was so close to that I was talking about like 100-page document with screenshots and everything. Yeah, if you want to do this particular uh, transaction, these are the steps. Click here, click here. Is what you guys will call maybe test step now or something like that, or maybe, yeah, I don't, yeah, but it's basically a user guide anyway. So yeah, and I've given a task to the BAs actually to create a user guide for their product, right? So you put those things together, right? Depending on how technical, like I said, if your product is not technical, you might not need a user guide. For instance, if Facebook maybe, to be honest, I don't think Facebook will create a user guide, but it's also possible they might create an FAQ actually to see that, so that when users want to use this particular new feature, what are the things that they need to look into? Those are the things that you would need to put in that release note so that it's easier as you go along in releasing that particular product. You follow up with that particular document to actually ease the life of whether the person that is going to use it or the person that is going to install it, or even the UAT guy, or even the support guy that is going to be supporting the application that is seen for the first time. So those are the things. And also even for yourself as a release manager, in case maybe 2 or 3 months down the line, someone called you about, oh, this particular release 1, 2, 3, 4.12. So what exactly happened? So you can actually go into that. So this document, you put it in a wiki. Some people put it in the Confluence, or you put it in maybe SharePoint, or you might also have a repository for that you put it in a particular location so that everyone can refer to it. It has to be what's the right word? Version. It has to be versioned. You have to put, because every release has got a version. So you don't say, oh, this is release 1, 2, 3. So you have to release 1.0, 1.1, or 2.1. Yeah. So I think even as a release manager as well, something that you have to agree within your team is to say, oh, which one is a main release, which one is a patch releases. How do you do nomenclatures or your naming, actually? Because some people say major release will be 1.something 0, 2.0, 3.3, like that. So it's going to be the first one. Then you now have incremental releases, which whereby you have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 before you now have a major release to goes into 2. Then you now have the incremental releases 2.1, 2.2. So this also would need to be agreed. Then as you go along with that as well, you have patch releases as well. So those are the things that, yeah, it just appears in your environment, or a bug, go quickly, you need to fix it. You need also agree how you're going to do that. To be honest, like I said, is a course on its own, because indeed is a role, actually. So it's not something I can quickly, yeah, squeeze through like that. But it's something that I also take in the advanced course as well, because there are some people that they are actually taking this particular agile delivery course actually within the advanced team. So if you are interested, I think I'll send a link to the advanced now, because some people already told me over last week that they are really interested. And so we are going to be collecting the number of those guys. So I'll send the link. Maybe I think they've already created the channel, actually. So before, I think it will be open for 2 weeks or thereabouts. So anyone that is interested to kind of, yeah, apply as soon as possible. So, but we would start as soon as we have the number, to be honest. So hopefully I've been able to answer the question. I think I've
Well,
spent
thank
almost
you
like
so much.
10 minutes. So,
You said a lot.
okay,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
no worries. Okay, all right. Any other question?
So when are we likely to do the when are we likely to finish up with the CV prep?
Okay, all right, good question. So if they have not sent the invite, I think they will send it tonight, actually, but I'm going to assume that they've already sent it. There's one session for tomorrow, right, from 8 to 10. I think we'll finish that. We'll finish the CV tomorrow. So there's a session tomorrow to finish the CV. So I'm expecting all this CV to be sent, to be done. We'll finish the session, right? And by Friday, I'm expecting everyone to send their CV to me and the team. So we'll kind of look into it. So by next Monday, we're going to do another session, right? So this is a session whereby you would kind of now go into the team, yeah, I'll come into the meeting. So I will review all the CVs. But one thing that you will see is like I will not actually review the CV. I will not open the CV because I don't want people to copy someone's CV. Actually, that is one. But I will let you know whose CV is it. But of course, I will not mention the name. But I will use the telephone number of the person. But you will know this is your CV, whether with your telephone number or a part of your email address, or maybe so if I maybe the last character of your name, or so, but you will know that this is you anyway. So I'll go through that. So but what that would do is like you will see some pitfall in someone's CV, and you see what is good in other people's CV. Then you can take that as a feedback. Even if it's not your CV, you can as well, yeah, make sure that you don't do that mistake in your own CV. Or if this person has done very well, I'll talk about that section that is done without having to kind of talk up I wouldn't actually say that line. Do you get now? So that someone will not copy, but I will talk about, okay, this particular session is really, really good. This is what I'm looking for. This is why it's good. So, and yeah, so you can see the section about it. I think the last set that we did was really, really, really good, to be honest. And a lot of people actually enjoyed that. So I'm also expecting it to be interactive as well, so that it's not only me talking. So that's what we'll do. So yeah, so that will happen next week Monday, actually. So for 1 hour, no, or 1 or 2 hours, I would say. So, but for Monday, we're going to have the concluding part of that CV creation. Hopefully, we'll finish that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. All right, cool. Today, oh, I've sent the, I think I found out the team have created the course for the advanced for those guys that are interested. So, and maybe next, okay, quickly, okay, because someone will ask what is advanced. Maybe next week I'll come and I'll do a quick introduction. Actually, hopefully there will still be space anyway, because I'm not prepared for that now. But just a quick introduction. Advanced is another level of training, and someone actually said that the name fits it, is advanced, as in very advanced. So in this particular training, you have two flavor, right? You will be able to work more on the products that you are working on. Yeah. So all the developers on this particular platform, that's where they are actually, they develop those applications that you guys are on. And every mentor that you and even the bodies, actually, no, let's say every body that you have here they are on this particular platform, right? So, and I would say 95% of the mentors are also on the advance. The reason being the fact that it's kind of two ways actually. So I train them more actually, so that they can be able to go out, get the jobs and everything. Then some of them will come back to say, yeah, I'm still learning, they're still there. So even though they kind of pay to be there, but after the first 3 months and they are still doing what I asked them to do, they are going to be there like forever until they tell me that they are going. So it's also learning platform, like, to be honest, like forever learning. And on that platform, I also learn from them as well, because some of them now have got almost like 5 years experience, thereby you get now. So they now use different applications that I don't use. Actually, we still come back together to say, okay, this is a new thing in the market, blah, blah. We also teach ourselves on those areas. So, but now they come back into the platform to be able to do that. So it's another good thing that we are. And another thing that's so important that is also making the advance worthwhile to be in is the fact that when you be on the program for 3 months, after the 3 month internship will start. If you are still doing what I asked you to do and you are committed to it, you come back into the internship as a body, right? Of course, as a body, you are going to still be learning. Let's say in this particular set now, you didn't know what you are doing because of the 3 months so fast, and then before you realize it's already gone. So you come into the advance, so then you get more confidence, you get people, yeah. So for instance, now we are going to do interview prep today. Hopefully we get to it. So, but in the advance now, we've started the interview prep like every other week. But right now, like in this month of March, what we are doing throughout will be interview prep, because I've given them a target that if they don't get job by the end of March, most of them will go. And sometimes it always work actually. Before you know, they get that and they start looking and everything. So throughout the month, it's going to be focusing on CVs and interview prep. Yesterday, we went through CVs. Everyone look at, okay, what exactly are your issues in time of CV? So then after that, we'll start doing interview prep. So that's what you get in the advance. And when you come back into advance, also you also come back as a body. With body, you are still kind of training. And then after that, after many years, I would say, then we are confident. Some of them already got jobs. Then if you think you're still going to be on the platform, which most of them are, because there's something that they are still gaining, so you become a mentor. So that's where you see those mentors on the platform. They are still there on advance anyway. So because yeah, by mentoring people, you should also learn. Good thing is, like, as a mentor, you get to ask questions. The interns will ask you questions that you don't even think about actually. So which means that it keeps you on your toes, and even at work, and even when you're going for interviews, and which I think for me is also good actually. For instance, now, someone asked me about release management on the fly. I have to say it right. So if I don't know it, I have to go back and learn it actually. So which I think is a good thing about the platform. So that is what you get in the advance actually. So yeah. that- So any question? I think someone is pressing the hand. Okay. Oh, Lola. Lola, please.
Thank you, Mr. Deji. So I wanted
Oh,
to
hold on,
ask.
Lola. Lola is Deji. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Deji. Yeah, so I wanted to ask that how much is it?
Oh, it's
And
600.
600. And when does the next one start?
Okay, that's a good question, to be honest. And the same thing I used to say to everyone before this internship starts. So the advance, because right now, I think because we are actually doing the interview prep towards jobs and everything. So as many people that I get now, I will just put them straight into the program so that they can benefit from these CV reviews that is happening right now. I also need interview prep actually. So that's one thing. So it's, I'll say from next 2 weeks, so I would start putting people that already signify their interest anyway.
Okay. And is there reference for that as well?
Yeah, yes, it's work placement. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And to be honest, that is the one that I would say is more of reference because, yeah, in that place now, you don't have end time. Do you get it now? And I know some of these guys, like, they've been with me for 5 years. So if they want to ask for 5 years reference, of course, is theirs. Do you get it now? And it's not that, yeah. Once you have the 3 months that I signed with you to say, oh, I'm going to train you for 6 months, no, 3 months, right? At the end of the 3 months, then yeah, you are free to go, or I'm free to ask you to go. But of course, if you commit to it and we say, okay, come back to the internship as a body. Do you get it now? And another thing, some people that I think they're not there yet to become a body, right? I've also asked them to come into the internship to become an intern. Do you get it now? Not even a body. But when they come as intern, there might be rebate as well to say, okay, yeah, because you are in the advance, blah blah. So, but it's we will weigh your commitment and achievement within the time and make recommendation. So, but if you are there as body, that means you've kind of passed the what's it called, the probation. Then you can be on the platform like until whenever you decide to leave. Yeah. Okay. Ade Oluwabosede.
Hi, JG. I just wanted to clarify. So you said for the advanced course, the first 3 months, and then you can ask people to stay. So following the once you complete the 3 months, and for instance, you want to stay on the course, do you have to keep paying every 3 months, or
No,
how
no,
does
no,
the
no. No, you
okay?
don't have to pay. After 3 months,
Yeah.
that's why I say it's contractual, right? You
Okay.
pay for 3 months and that's it, right? So when you stay on the platform, right, you don't
Yeah.
pay. But at that point, it's now on my own prerogative, right? To say, oh, you are staying because, yeah, you are helping as a body within Blue Sky. Do you get now?
Oh,
Or
I see.
exactly. Or I've seen that you can still do more and you are committed to doing that. And I can say, okay, until so most of them, I'm committed to get them to where they want to be, which is like for them to get jobs actually. But you don't consistently pay like, okay, next 3 months you pay this actually. Yeah, so that's what I can say. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Oh, sorry. Stan, please.
Hi, Deji. My question, is there a student discount for the advanced course?
Okay, that's a good question. Advanced course is not open to any other person outside this internship. That's another thing. So if you're talking about discounts, there's no, who would like give discounts to? Do you get it now? So it's not like if you have not done internship, I'm not putting people in, right, to be honest. So do you get it now? So it's not like every other person, yeah. So yeah. So, but having said that, right, I do give people discounts, right, or sponsorship based on their achievements on this platform, right? Like, you know, from the last 2 weeks, I've given some people, yeah, 50% discount. I know some people will still get like 100% discounts as well. Some people will still be sponsored by different people as well. So yeah, that also is there actually, but not like, yeah, there's open. So sometimes even the criteria for giving discounts myself, I don't even know actually. And I can tell you there's a meeting I attended actually, one of those, I think maybe you guys are also there. So one of the meetings, they are doing their stand-up, and I was impressed that two people actually were on camera and they are showing their face. And I said, okay, I'll give you guys discounts to come to advance. As simple as that. And yeah, so, but in most important places, it's like, okay, when I see your report and I see this person has done very well, I can decide to say, oh, this person, yeah, is gone 100%. Or sometimes it will be also cumulative. Some people already got 50%. So when I also kind of see another work and it's from them, and I say, okay, this person got 50%, which shows that the person already got 50% before and it's not getting 50 again. So that means it's a full discount. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Uzo, please.
Hi, Didi. Thank you so much. I just have two questions. One is can the payment be instrumental? And then
Hold on,
secondly,
hold on, hold on. That doesn't mean, Nita, you are not getting any discount. Unfortunately. Do you know?
Put your
This is what
camera on.
happens.
Oh.
That is a
This is what happens in
scam.
that meeting.
good
Once I
one.
said, you two people, you are getting discount. Everyone quickly, they were on camera. But however, I can give you 10%. Yeah.
Oh wow.
For showing off
So
today.
many people are turning on
Imagine.
their cameras
Okay.
now.
Unfortunately, it's already gone now. This is what
This,
happened last time. All right. Sorry.
these cameras are nice one. No. I think
But
I'm
of
going to
course,
wear
another
my
thing,
sleeping dress.
yeah, another thing also, there are some people that are so close to me that would also get the 100% discounts. They know themselves as well, in the sense that because the fact that they, maybe because they are close to me or they
Value.
attend my church. Yeah, sorry, or they attend my church as well. So I'm empowered to encourage them as well. So those are the things those are the
But where's
criteria.
your church? We can start
Come to
attending
our
you.
church, oh.
We can
I'm not
start
the
attending
pastor.
your church.
I'm just a member.
And we can start.
All right. So yeah, where is Crayford anyway? Redeem. Attend Redeem in Crayford anyway. Okay. Let's go back to the question. Okay. All right. I think was it Lola who was talking? Sorry.
It was me. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask two questions. Firstly, can we make instrumental payments? And then secondly, is the Microsoft Dynamics training going to be part of the internship, or is it the core IT roles?
Okay. All right.
Oh, sorry,
That's a good.
advanced. Sorry,
Yeah,
advanced.
that's a good question. Yeah. Dynamics, you will not be actually, right? Dynamics is not going to be. Dynamics is going to be. Okay. Having said that, I would say yes and no, right? So yes, in the sense that for Dynamics, I think I got a bit of power, right, to be able to push people in there because I'm committed actually, unlike the data analyst, which might change actually because I'm trying to grab this data analyst because I don't like how it is, so that because it's external, they are all external consultants, so we have kind of an agreement or arrangement to say, oh, this is the people that are coming and everything. So it's not kind of like blue sky that got 100% autonomy so on what I can do on that. But for Dynamics, I know the guy very well. I can actually say that But one thing is like, as a body, if you go as a body into dynamics, I can look into that to say, okay, should we kind of open it for everyone in the advance, or should we not actually? But trust me, it's not going, if you're interested in dynamics, it's not going to be as other people. Some people in the advance went to dynamics right now, and they're in a group, where other people are paying 250, they only pay £100 actually, because these guys are external consultants. I have to tell them, these are my team. They need to support me, right? So, which I think is another thing. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think you'll be completely free because I don't have full power over it to get it now. But I could actually source for a very high rebate for them actually. So that's one thing. So, what was the second question? Sorry.
If we can pay instrumentally, and thank you for
Yes,
the
yes,
first
the answer
one.
is yes. You can pay instrumental. On the link that you go that sent out now, you can use Klarna to pay instrumentally. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Ed, please. While we are waiting
I
for
did.
Ed, sorry, 1 minute, Ed.
Okay.
Bolu, are you there? Bolu, I also want to see if Tolu is there as well. So if you guys are there, so we can do the interview prep. And if you are ready for the wheel as well, so we can do that. So I think hopefully this question and answer will end in a few minutes. So if you guys are there, please do let me know. Okay, Ed.
Yeah, yes, I'm here, but I sent the will to allow me because my system is having issues, but I'm here.
Okay. All right. Is allow me there. Are you ready for the wheel?
Yes, I'm here.
Of
I've been
course, yeah.
fitting in just a few names into the wheel.
Okay, cool. I know you're born ready, isn't it? Thank you. All right, cool. Ed.
Yeah, good evening, Deji. I just wanted to ask if you're taking note of the people you've given 50% discount for the advance.
Okay, unfortunately, it's not me that's taking note of those. Actually, I've asked them. Some people already contacted me about this, that are giving the discount, and I've asked them to speak to who is actually collecting those names. Yeah. So my team is taking note, not me specifically. Actually.
Okay, because you gave me and I've not contacted you.
I don't know whether it's still open, because this is all about attention to details actually, right? So, and those guys I've given to, they've actually contacted me and I say, okay, please talk to this person. So I would say speak to the admin, okay?
Okay.
Today, right? Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Adenike.
The question I wanted to ask, so yeah, that's the same question he asked you, so I don't need to say that again.
Did I give you discounts?
I spoke to you on Thursday regarding from Bull Team last year, and you said I should send admin a message.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I get you.
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay.
So I sent admin a message already.
You paid the full instead
Yes,
of paying discount for the internship, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
you want a rebate because of that. Okay. Please speak to the admin as well. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So what is going to happen? We'll take the rebate that you'll have got for the internship of the advance, if that makes sense. Do you get? Okay. Jibril, please.
Thank you, Deji. I just wanted to ask or suggest if you will use the mentors as also, or give them the opportunity to recommend people for what's it called, discounts, because they are closer to the team.
All right,
because they're working closely to them, and they know those who are performing.
Yeah, I think I did that last set. Even but I gave a few of the mentors that are really performing as well. Do you get it now? Yeah, are really performing to say, okay, this person, okay, can you recommend this, blah blah. So of course that also will come into So thanks. We did that last set as well. So yeah, that we will do the same thing. Yeah.
Will you want to give me discount for that good recommendation?
Unfortunately, that's not part of the criteria. But nice try.
This guy
Thank
is
you.
good.
All right. I think we had Ed before and we had Lola before. Unless you guys still have questions, you still have your hand raised. Okay, cool. All right. So I think enough of the advance. So any questions in terms of work related and everything? So yeah. Okay. If Wumi is ready, we can start. But before we start, like I said, this is going to be interview prep, right? So, and this is how it's going to work. Okay, question. What does a Scrum Master gain from the advance, please? I think, yeah. So I think this is not only advanced, everyone gains from it, actually. Like
Sorry,
yeah.
Deji.
Yes, please.
Deji, sorry to interrupt you. Just before we start that, we were deliberating, we were not sure about what you wanted us to do about the mind map in our team. So we wanted to clarify, did you want the mind maps to be included in the presentation?
Yeah, I want to see it. And it's an individual mind map, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, it would be good to see it actually. So, because one thing, your mind map should reflect what your CV should look like. Do you get it now? I'm happy for you to anomalize some of the data. Do you get it now? If you don't want it to be displayed, to say, okay, university A, or do you get it now? It's just for me to actually because what the mind map does for you is like, it's a picture representation of your CV, right? When you go for interview and you have your mind map actually before you go, so you kind of look into the mind map, even though it's not with you. But of course, nowadays when you do interviews was it online, which is even better. You can have your mind map there, so you don't need to scroll around. If it asks, tell me about yourself, you just go through your mind map basically. So that is the purpose of the exercise. All the exercises or the tasks that you get here, there's a reason for you to do them, because they are also targeted to you getting jobs actually. So none of these exercises useless or fruitless actually. So yeah, they have a point. And when I say group, I know the reason for saying group. When I say individual, yeah, there's also reason for doing that as well. Olufemi.
Yeah, my question is about the mind map as well. If in a situation where, I mean, I have different experiences in different things, and I know that I want to go into data analysis, for example, should I be making my mind map based off my desired role, or you should just include all my experiences and skills?
Sorry, I don't get that.
Well, on the mind map, there's a place where you said we should put our skills in there. So if I'm making a mind map based off a career in data analysis, but I have other skills that are not related to to what I'm trying to do. So is it advisable to have them on the mind map, or just the related skills to the role?
All right. Okay, cool. That's a good question. One thing I can say is like, if that particular skill, right, is going to find its way into your CV, of course you need to put in there. Do you get my point now? It's going to be, what will be on your CV, right? So the question now that I would say you should ask is like, should I put that particular skill on my CV, right? So if that skill is not completely off from what you are doing, right, then I would say put it. For instance, let's say I was into care, right? Or then I'm now looking into Kiwi, right? So there's some skills that I do right now do as a care worker that is not relevant. I don't need to put in there. But let's say within the care sector, right, I manage a team, right, and I'm looking for a Scrum Master. So the skill is still relevant. Do you get it now? Because you're still going to be a servant leader within the team, right? So that's one. So let's say I work at a Tesco till, right, and yeah, or there's some skill there that I don't need when I want to become a Kiwi, right? But however, let's say at Tesco, when they release a new version of the till system, right? POS. I've worked in a POS system before, actually, that they all these things. And I think my wife also have worked in a place with on some of the pub that they have this deal and everything. So for instance, if you are already an end user of that particular application, it's a skill that you need to put into your CV to get that, because sometimes people are looking for someone that have already used it, right? For instance, let's say you work in the NHS right now, and whether anything, any role, right? And you've used the application before. Of course, you want to put on the CV that, yeah, I'm already used to this particular application and it's a skill as well. So that's what I'm expecting. Yeah, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm going to quickly, while I'm waiting for allow me to get the wheel ready, right? So I'll talk about what I'm expecting an interview to look like, right? So do you guys, let me ask a question. Do you guys know that interview is like writing an essay? Yes or no? And if it's yes, why? Let's make it interactive. Okay, Bola.
Yeah, I would say yes. So if you think about an essay, you obviously have like an introduction, a middle, and a conclusion. So if I am to liken that with interview, maybe the introduction might be when you kind of come into the room, they might ask you to tell you a little bit about yourself. And the introduction is a very important part because that's where you kind of sell yourself and you kind of get the company's buy-in. And the same way with an essay, the introduction is kind of to outline what you're going to say on within the rest of that essay. And then obviously the middle part is where you have the bulk of whatever it is you're discussing. Again, with an interview, that's maybe where you have the bulk of where you give examples of what you've done, your understanding of the role that you're applying for, where you really kind of add more to the points that you said at the beginning to show yourself how you fit in with that role. And then conclusion will just kind of literally be a way to sum up and to bring everything together. And also another way to kind of close and sell yourself as to why you are the candidate for that role.
Thank you so much. I was about to say that, did you actually peek into my notes or what? But that was good actually. And one thing, as someone actually said that, have I been getting recommendation from the mentors actually, right? Someone actually spoke about you, Bola, today, that you've been really good and participating within the team. So on that note, yeah, I will give you a 50% discount and for what you've done today as well, if you're interested in advance. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Deji. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So please speak to the admin and they know what to do. Okay. All right. That is really, yeah, spot on, right? Interview is about, it's like you writing an essay. Your introduction is the beginning of your interview, where you introduce yourself. They tell you about the company. You also say about yourself, about your role, those things that you can, to be honest, most of the introduction, you can actually prepare for it. The same way also, when you are writing an essay, even if you are going for an exam, actually, I remember when I was teaching my kids how to write an essay going to school, I said, every introduction, you can adapt it. You can even know this is what I'm going to write on, whether they say this or not, you can hear. But in most cases, I say 70% of the time, you kind of will be able to adapt your introduction towards what we are looking for. When when it's okay, write a letter, blah blah. Introductions could be always the same. Describe the scenario, the serene, and everything. You know it. That the same way when you go for interviews, you know the introductions. So quickly, let me ask question. So, what are the questions that you think will form part of the introduction? Let's quickly jog with that. Anybody? So okay, in terms of the introduction, what are the questions that you think should come? Uzo.
The typical question where they ask, tell me a bit about yourself.
Thank you. Tell me a bit about yourself. So that could come in different form. We are coming back to that. A bit to me, don't run away. I saw your hand, but I know maybe it might be similar to that. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same question I wanted to ask.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That question could be asked in different form. We'll come back to that. For me,
Okay, I won't be forward. I'll wait for you to come. I was just going to talk about the other way the question can come. But
Okay, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe they can say, can you run me through your CV, please?
Thank you. That's another way as well. Yeah, that's another way. What else again, guys? Okay, Bumi.
Okay, I think my own most scary question is them asking me why do I want them to employ me, or why do I think I fit in this role I applied for.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing as well. So, and why do I want to employ you? What do you have to offer? Why I should bring you? Do you fit into this role? That's one thing as well. Thank you. So that's one of those one. So, and okay, Ola Odu, please.
I think them asking, can you tell me a little about yourself and the experience you've had?
Hold on, sorry. Allow me. Okay, I think yeah, you are showing Telegram. Yeah, this one. Sorry, go ahead.
Them asking, can you tell me a little about yourself and the experience you had?
Okay, yes. So that's another variance to that particular question. Tell me about yourself and the experience that you have. So that's another thing. So, and okay, any other thing? Any other one? Lizzie.
They ask things like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Thank you. That's another thing. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? That could also be another question as well. So, which I think is good. Yeah. So, Ed.
They can ask, tell me about the project you've worked on.
Yeah, that's another thing. Tell me about the project that you worked on. Yeah, you guys are really, really fantastic. Emmanuel.
They can ask, tell me about a time when you faced a difficult problem at work and how you went about solving it.
Okay, tell me about a time you faced a difficult question and how you went about solving it. Thank you. Tolulope.
You could say to tell them about a project you've been part of recently that was really successful, or they could say, what are your most proud achievements?
Okay, thank you so much. What are your proud achievements? Tell me about projects that you've kind of involved in as well. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. So, okay, so Anselm, please.
Okay. You can ask you a question like, what is your motivation?
Okay, what's your motivation? Okay, what's your motivation? That's another thing as well. Okay, Lola.
Yeah, IDG. So another question is, have you ever dealt with difficult stakeholders and how did you handle them?
Okay, all right. So that's good as well. So let's keep the question coming, then I'll be refining them. How did you deal with difficult stakeholders as well? That is one. So okay, and Adenike.
Yes, so another thing is like they would ask you about your weaknesses and your strengths.
Thank you. Your weaknesses and your strengths as well. Okay. Abdul Gafar.
Yeah, thank you. You can be asked about your personal profile or your biography.
Okay, about your personal profile, which actually relates to the first question. Anyway, so thank you. So, Ebitimi, please.
Yeah, they can ask you what you know about their company.
Thank you so much. I was waiting for that actually. So, because every time we are talking, we are only talking about ourselves, right? So you think, yeah, they will also want to know about themselves as well, what you learned. I was waiting for that. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Yeah. What do you know about the company as well? So, okay, quickly, I want to give opportunity to everyone. So I think, yeah. So if you already answered the questions or if you asked your question, you can lower your hand. So I will call people that have not actually spoken before. Ade Dotun, please.
Hello. So they can ask to describe yourself regarding the role you applied for. Like describe yourself as a software tester.
Thank you so much. That's another thing. You can describe yourself related to that particular role. That's good. So, and Emmanuel.
I think a question that would relate to us is them asking about our experience in Agile.
Okay, an experience in Agile. Okay, that also is good. So, and Jinika.
Yeah, thank you so much.
If
They
you're not
could
ready, you
ask.
can stop sharing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry, Jinika.
right. They could ask how does your skill fit into the company's mission and vision?
Okay, cool. How does your skill fit into company mission and yeah, and also even talking about your achievements as well, what you are bringing to the table, which I think is good. So, okay, Olajide.
Yeah, the one question for interview I ask, they ask me what determine your decision, your heart or your head.
Wow. That's a big one actually. So yeah. So what exactly are they looking for in that kind of question? For those guys that did not hear, what determines your decision? Is it your heart or your head? Can someone answer? How you want to answer that? Okay, please.
Both.
You threw me off balance.
Sorry, can I answer? Okay.
Please, yeah.
Okay, man.
Okay, man, please.
So I've been asked that question before, and what they are looking for head and heart is for head. Do you make a decision? Do you make an impulse decision? Like how quick are you to respond to problem solving? Then for the heart, are you emotional? Do you take things into what things do you take into consideration before making a decision? So are you making a decision in a split, or do you take your time to think over some things before making a decision?
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you so much. Even the fact that you kind of analyze that, it's really good to know where it is. So and also it also depends on your job as well. For instance, if you're a scrum master, I would say you make decision by your heart because you need to be emotional with people's, yeah. So maybe you're a QA, to be honest, use your head. That's what I think. But sometimes, as someone said both, but sometimes they might ask you, choose one. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's the question. They say choose one. So
exactly. So you
have to go for one.
and then talk about why. I think that's a good question actually. So yeah, thanks. So okay, there are a lot of people raising their hands. Let me go into the second one as well now, before we come to the third one. Like I said, in a essay, you have introduction. We've spoken about a lot of questions, which I think is good. We're going to look at this together. So the third part, which is the second one I want to talk about, is the conclusion part of an interview, which is also when you're writing an essay, a good essay, you have conclusion as well. Okay. Now, for conclusion now, okay, if you guys want to talk about that, what are the questions that you think they will ask as a concluding part? And if someone also wants to say, what exactly is the concluding part of an interview? Okay, so I'm going to assume that everyone that is raising their hands want to ask the question as well. So let me start with those guys that have not actually spoken as well. So, and some people now, I know their name now because they always talk, right? Which I think is good. My son was telling me today, is like, it's not good for a teacher to know your name within first week of attending the school. And he also said that sometimes it's also good. I said, what? He said, if they know your name in the first week, it's either you're a troublemaker or you are really, really exceptional. I don't know. So, which I think is really good. Some of you guys, I already know them because in different meetings they've spoken. Yeah, I know them. And yeah, so you want to be the person as well that, yeah, your name will ring a bell. Do you get it now? Okay. And it will be good for you to put your name. I can see some names now. Ades Inventory. The only artist that I know is where we buy.
Sorry, my computer refused to accept the right thing, so I just put that one.
I thought it's artist that said grocery to us. I'll come to your house and take some.
Don't worry.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the conclusion part of an interview?
The last questions they normally ask most of the time is, do you have any question to ask?
Okay. All right. Cool. Do you have any question to? Yeah. Yes. So let me also, if they ask you that question, what will be your own question? This is a part of interview that you answer question with questions, isn't it?
So for me, depending on the situation, depending on the kind of complaint, maybe like a research or whatever, I can ask them, oh, will the research allow me to also go and present somewhere else? And yeah, then they will tell me there is fund for this or not, all those kind of questions. I mean, depending on the complaint.
Yeah, that is coming from a doctor, isn't it? So always research. Unfortunately, some of us we've left book. We are not. The only thing that I want to cut now is money. Akinola, please.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, Akinola, then Abiola. Sorry, I think they sound similar.
Yeah.
Akinola,
How do you work in a team, and how do you manage conflict?
That would not be in the concluding part. Yeah. So that also is a good question as well, but not a concluding part. Maybe either in the introduction or the one I want to talk about, which is the body. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So Adiola, please.
Hi, Deji. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I think as we've established, the concluding part of an interview is an opportunity for you to ask your questions. So if I would ask a question after my interview, I would ask if they place so much value on their employer, like and how much value they place on you, on their employee.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So okay, Bamidele.
Yes, good evening, Deji. Another question they can ask is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay, so that also could be a part of the introduction or body as well. So, but no conclusion. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that also is another question. So as well. So thank you. So and I did Dotun on Ashley, please. I did Dotun. Okay, if it's so, I think I'm looking for people that have not spoken. Olubukola.
Did you call Olubukola right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So another question they would ask is, what personally do you like about working for this organization?
Okay, what personally do you like? So that will be part of the introductory section anyway. Thank you so much. Okay. Ozo Emena.
Yes. Some of these questions, or one of these frequent asked questions will be like, is there anything else would you like to share with us about your experience and qualification that we have not discussed yet?
Okay, thank you. Now, I like how you kind of put it there. So which is the concluding part? Any other thing that you think we should know about that we haven't discussed? That is good. So then you have opportunity to talk about that. So Olamide, then I'll call the last person as let me see someone that's not spoken. Jamin and Gani Ali, three of you guys. Yeah.
What value are you bringing on board?
What value are you bringing on board? Yeah.
Then salary expectation.
As in they ask or you ask?
They ask.
They ask. Okay. All right. So yeah, so some people do ask. To be honest, you need to prepare for that if they do ask. Actually, yeah. So yeah. So then you need to know the figure that you have in, and that's one question that can throw you off balance if you're not prepared enough. Actually, we're going to look at how to kind of answer those difficult questions in the course of this particular program. Actually, so So yeah, and like I said, this is going to be weekly thing now from Monday actually. So okay, Nita, and then yeah, Jamin. I think you guys have not spoken. Yeah. Okay, and Gani Igbason as well. Okay. Anyone of you guys can. So I want to go.
Opeyemi as well. I raised my hand here.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay. Everyone that has spoken, can you lower your hand so that I know people that are still ready? Or but if you are already spoken and you are not ready to speak, can you lower your hand so that I will know who is left? Okay. All right. Please,
I've not spoken as well, DG. Daniel King.
Okay. All right. Jamin.
They might say at the end of the interview, why should we pick you over any other candidate?
Why should they pick you? Okay. All right. Cool. That. Okay. Jamin. I think I called Igbason, right?
Jermaine.
No. Yeah. Thank Jamin. I said Igbason next. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's David, right? Okay. Nita.
Yes.
Okay, please. Yeah.
So one other question I can ask you is, how will your first 5 months look when you start this job?
Okay. Are your first? Yeah. So that will be part of the introductory as well, I would say. Yeah. Or a body-ish actually, right? So, but not the concluding part anyway. So, but yeah, thanks for asking that questions. Yeah. So, Nita, please.
Okay, they could ask you that if you're given the job, how many months notice do you need to give to your previous employer? And also, do you have any health issues that you may need to, I don't know how to phrase it, but like if you need any aid for the job, like you have any disabilities that they might need to adjust your working conditions to.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So the first question, I would say, of course, yes. All right. So in terms of notice, but some of them you might just have to fill it in it. Like, yeah. And the second one, yeah, interviewer would actually not want to ask that in an interview. You get it now? Because most especially UK, so I don't feel like, yeah, they asked me this interview and I told them I've got dyslexia, and that's the reason they didn't take me. Do you get it now? They try as much as possible to run away from that. But however, what they now do is they will send a form to you, right? To say you are free to fill this particular form. I've forgotten the particular word they will put it there. Is voluntary, right? So that they used to collect that information about any disabilities and everything, but they will actually ask you, it doesn't affect your application, right? Whether it does or it doesn't do, I don't know, to be honest. But sometimes, we are all humans, isn't it? So you can look at that emotionally. Anyway, so Daniel, please.
Yeah, the interview, what they have asked me in the past is like when they ask you, have you got any question for the company? And the two questions the interviewer said they were expecting, one of them was, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, one of them was, for this job, if I finally come to the company, what are the resources that you've got on ground for me to work on so as to make this project a viable one? And the second one is, what are the career progression in this company like? And then they start talking from there.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you so much for that. So yeah, and I like the fact that you kind of say, okay, this is the question that they've asked you before. Okay, guys, I know a lot of people are still raising their hands. So let's move on. Yeah, everyone's going to have a turn. That's why we are doing this wheel. Apologies for these people I've not called. I know, yeah, Emmanuel, because I know you spoke.
My name, but I didn't get to speak.
Okay, Gani, please.
You didn't call
me too.
One of the questions I will ask them is, what is the most important things for me to achieve in my first 90 days at work? So this will actually give me an insight of what they expected of me at work.
Thank you so much. I think that's a good question as well. Yeah. So yeah. So, and yeah, someone actually
And
spoke now.
Temitope,
Okay.
Temitope, yeah. How much notice do you need to give to your current employer if you hire you? It's a concluding interview
All right.
question.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Quickly, I think you guys are really, really on point on those questions and the introduction. And one thing that I can say, so I worked the admin to look for this particular book. I read it maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Even I think it's even up like 10 or 15 now. What the paper boy know about what paper boy knows about money. I think that's is a book or a novel, but I think it's not a long one for those one of us that don't like to read like myself, because it's so short. It's like a pamphlet, maybe a few pages, but I'm talking about maybe 20 or 30 pages. I'll check it again. So it's really, really good. It's talk about this particular paper boy. It's just a small boy, maybe a 10 or thereabouts, and he was actually going out to sell newspaper actually. So, and as he went out selling newspaper. No, he was actually not even, he has not even started. He was looking for work as a news paper boy. Paper boy are those guys that take newspaper from an agency or a news agent, and then they start to distribute it to different people, right? Maybe on a Sunday, on a Monday like this, like you take maybe one of the popular newspaper, then you take it to people that will not necessarily go to the news agent to go and buy you and deliver it actually. And so in that particular novel, you will be able to understand how the interview went, what the paper boy did, what he said. I read that book. I think it actually changed my viewpoint about interviews. The guys talk about different things that you need to do at interviews, actually, and learning from a small boy what the boy actually did to be able to get the job. One thing I still remember, it's been a while that I read the book. I always recommend it as well. One thing that I should remember, the boy was really, really prepared. He knew where he need to go. And when he was there, and he actually said, I've got even, what's the name of that thing that you tie towards your waist, actually, right? If someone can shout it out, so that you put your purse. It's like a purse, isn't it? But you tie it towards your waist. I think our grandma used to use that when they are selling things, that you put it in your waist, you put your money in there. So it's
Waist
like
bag.
sorry?
Waist bag.
Fanny
Waist
pack.
bag.
Or a pouch
Fanny
like that, isn't it? Yeah. So but it's like, yeah, waist pouch or whatever that is called anyway. So the guy was ready, even he came to the interview with that. And he came with even coins as well, right? And he was like, yeah, blah blah, this is it. So, and that's one thing I said was really, really profound. The last thing before I go that the guy did, right? 3 times he asked for the job. He asked for the job. How many of us have gone for interview that we asked for the job? And I always do that as well. So
how do you mean ask for the job?
Thank you so much. That's a good question. Yeah. So because when I read the book, I kind of saw that I normally did not do that before, but when I read the book that you need to ask for the job. If you don't ask, you don't get it. Right. So now the question is like, how do you ask for the job? Can someone shout it out if you want? Actually, how do you ask for the job? Okay, I guess no one knows. So
when do you want me to start the job?
Thank you so much. That is one. When do you want me to start the job? Actually, all right. That is one way. But I'll tell you one. Yeah, what can happen? Yeah, another thing.
Will I be offered the position?
No, that is not so confident. Actually, yeah. Will I be offered? Yeah.
Sir, is there any reason why you will not offer me this position?
That is still kind of on the side of, yeah, you are not sure yourself as well.
Okay, what of if you offer me this position?
Okay, that is still not, yeah.
If you offer me the position.
When am I starting? Do you get it now? Okay, I'll tell you what I've said during interviews. Some of them worked, and I can say some of them will not work. You know why? Because that is the last part of the interview. You want to be remembered, right? You want to be remembered as a boy that asked for the job. And one thing I like the first person that spoke, right? And the only thing I don't like, right, maybe is the tonation. Do you get it now? You don't ask as if, yeah, you know, how do I explain is that you're so firm and yeah. But when I do ask, I ask jokingly, and we laugh at, and I know their answers. Do you get it now? Some of the way to ask is like I said, when do you want me to start? I'm actually ready right now. Another way is like, even for the physical interviews, oh, as the guy was going and we finished the interview, oh, where's my seat? Where do you want me to sit? Or do you want me to start tomorrow? I'm actually ready. Do you get it now? So it's a way to ask for the job jokingly, right? And to know that, yeah, this boy is is actually ready. Or you can say, when exactly do you want me to start? Because I can actually start like tomorrow because I'm ready, right? And you know what they are going to what their response is. What do you think they will say?
We'll get
We
back
will
to you.
get back to you on that.
Or
We still have a few more people to see.
thank you. That is mostly what they will say. We still have a lot of people to interview. We just interviewed some people. We have to look at everyone. We'll get back to you. Then what will you now say?
I'll be expecting your call.
No. That is close, but no.
I will
What
look
will you
out
say?
for your email.
So
I'll be
this
looking forward to that.
no, okay. Now this
I'll
is
be
I'll get in
expecting to
touch.
hear from you.
no, not close.
I suppose you can say something like, because this has actually happened to me before when I asked for the job. And thank you, Mr. DG, for bringing this up, because I got the job, but I've always thought at the back of my mind maybe I did something wrong. And although when I asked, we laughed about it, and I got the job. And I think to answer your question, what I would say is, well, I'll go and start putting myself together in preparation for starting the job. Just going to be proactive about it.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant, because at that point you are sounding confident, and I think that also leads to what Olajide said. That are you using your head or your mind to do you get it now? You want to make decision, and you want to know this is my job. This is I am confident. I am resolute that this is it. But sometimes before they finish that interview, they have to, after they finish quickly, they have to make a call, right? They have to speak, right? You want to be able to speak to their emotion as well, that you are ready, you are born ready, and you are in for this job. But one thing I can say lastly, because this is your last pitch, right? This is very, very important. I call it a killer pitch, right? You want to actually say yourself, finally. They said, we still have a lot of people to speak to. We've done this interview, we've done interview. Now, this is what you're going to say. I am the right person for the job. Don't look elsewhere. You also want to quickly use 1 minute.
Sorry, Deji.
Yeah?
Sorry, Deji. Can you come again? Some of these people underground didn't make us to understand what you are saying.
Yes, there are people making noise.
So people underground, okay. So you need to make sure you use the surface train. So underground at night is not good.
Just mute yourself when you are not speaking,
okay, please do mute yourself so that we can enjoy this thing, as I'm also enjoying it as well. So yeah. So one thing, because it's your final part, yeah. And to be honest, like I tell some of my mentees in the advance, this is the place that you will get the last call, and they may not even ask you anything. This is a bit that you would have opportunity to sell ice to Eskimo, right? Right. One, thank you so much. Yeah. So we want to say they've already told you that, yeah, this particular job, we have 20 people that we are interviewing. We just interview 5 people. That's how they will react, actually. That, okay, we just finished, you are the last person or you are the first person. And you can say, oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. Please don't look elsewhere right now, because I am the right person for this particular job, standing in front of you, right? So I am the right person because I've got this, I've got that, I can do this. You've told me you needed this, and I've been able to show to you that I can do this. And also, I can also demonstrate that I've been able to do that right now. I'm really, really looking forward to a positive response from you. And to be honest, like I said, this is time to sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Because now they will not even ask you any other questions. Because sometimes they've already finished, right? To say, whoa, I can build ice on the Atlantic Ocean for you, if that's what you guys want. And so that is the piece that you want to actually sell yourself, and this is not time to sell yourself short. Having said that, and I will also warn you, this is what happens. Some people, if you're not confident how the interview went, right, you may not be able to ask for the question for the job. Trust me. But if you summon courage and you're able to ask, what that does, it also boosts your ego as well. That's another thing. It's those things that you are not able to answer and you got you wrong. You got this 2-minute gap or 1-minute gap to correct those, right? To say that, yeah, this is my final pitch. This is your final word. Actually, you want to deliver it. You want, and those are the things that you want to do. So that why that is important. Now, coming back to the last part, which is the body. If Wumi is ready, please do let me know. So,
Sorry, Deji, very quickly, sorry. Wouldn't you know, sometimes I feel that could go two ways. Wouldn't that be like some other people could feel you are being too overconfident and being too aggressive or something like that? If you meet like a
totally agree.
crazy interviewer.
Yeah, Deji,
totally
can I
agree.
come in there? Can I come in there,
Confidence is what
Deji?
Please, Daniel.
Yeah. The last interview I had, which was a while ago, that was the same thing I said. Although in some of the questions they asked, I was not able to answer. I blankly told them, I don't know about this, but I know about this, I know about that. And at the end of the day, like you said, I told them, and I said, I'm sure every company, whatever experience you are bringing, there's always an induction. And I can guarantee you, when I'm inducted into your company, I will not disappoint you. By the time I got home, even though they told me that I didn't qualify, they were looking for this, for that, I got another interview opportunity to come back, and I got the job. And that is where I'm still today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that testimony. So I think what Lissy said is also profound, actually. For some people get intimidated as well. So that's why I said that when you do ask, try as much as you to put humor into it. Do you get it now? So that it doesn't look you are too forward. That's one. To be honest, if you are sitting on the other side, Lizzie, right? Do you want to employ someone with less confidence, or you want to employ someone that is of high confidence, that you know that I can do the job? Now, the ball is in your court. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
So do you understand what I said, Lizzie, now?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the same way, you don't want to employ someone that you have to be putting pampers in. Do you get it now? Padding them, or you want someone that will hit the ground running because he's so confident, actually. But having said that, I agree. Some manager feel threatened. You feel threatened that this ball is there. But you at an interview, you want to put everything all out. An interview, yeah, you don't know what they are looking for, and you don't want to pre-assume, or do you get to say, Mera, this is that. But you just want to put your best out there and let them decide for themselves, because you cannot do that. Do you get it now? So that's what I am saying. So in most cases, this worked, actually. But if you try it and it worked for you, continue trying it. And if you try, it doesn't work to you, adjust and adapt. I used to tell this to my mentees as well. I did an MBA, even executive MBA. I pay a lot on this one. So an executive MBA, and I did strategy for almost like first course, second course strategy, and almost like 2 years. And at the end of the course, my professor actually said, scrap everything I've said. That is not definition of strategy. And he said, strategy is any method, process that worked for you. And even throughout the MBA, that particular word, I did not forget. Even if I have forgotten anything. The same way with your own strategy. Scrap everything I have told you, right? The method that works for you is the right strategy for you. Okay. So I know I've left a part, which is the body. We'll talk about the body later. So if time permits. So that is one thing. So thank you so much for making it so interactive. I think we're going to enjoy it. So, and this is what is going to happen on every Monday, 8 to 10. So hopefully we'll also make it interactive like this anyway. So Wumi, are we ready?
Yes, boss.
Okay.
Always. Yes, sir.
Always born ready. Okay. Do you want to, show the wheel, please? And guys, this how it's going to work. Okay. Can I have everyone lower their hand, please, so that there's when I see hands up, I'll know that you've got a question or you want to answer a follow-up question. So what's going to happen? We're going to roll the wheel actually. So and this is like who wants to be a millionaire. I think there's another game like this, Wheel of Life or something like that. Let's see. So
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune, thank you. Some people are already kind of into it anyway. So Wheel of Fortune. So it's going to be rolled spin twice. The first person that gets lucky, right, you're going to ask a question, right? And then when you roll it again or spin it again, the second person will get opportunity to answer the question. So to be honest, don't worry if it's wrong, if you don't get it, give your best shot. Do you get it now? So, and what is going to happen is, so even like right now, we've got some of these questions. That's why I use this avenue to ask. Some people ask different questions and everything. Do you get it now? So, and would go on at that. You see there are almost like 20 questions as people have already asked here. So you can also repeat those questions as well. So, and one thing that I want to say also, if you're a Kiwi, so I want you to ask a Kiwi question. If you're a BA, I want you to ask a BA question. And if you're a Scrum Master, ask a Scrum Master question. If you're a DA, ask a DA question, which I think is okay. But if the person that is answering it, let's say you're a Kiwi now, so a Kiwi asks question and asks about Selenium, and he asks a Scrum Master, give your best shot, actually, right? Because what happens is you can be in an interview and they invite this particular Kiwi lead into the question, and you are a Scrum Master. This person might not know what a Scrum Master does. You want to know that if you're a Scrum Master in his own team, do you know what I do? Do you have an idea? Do you get it now? So that is the point. The same thing for a BA and us. Do you get it now? So let's do that. So, but if we not thought, okay, we need to pass it to another person, we spin the wheel again. Okay, let's make it interactive. Okay, and it starts now. So there's some people, I think my name is there, right? Allow me, and also some mentors as well. So everyone's going to participate anyway. So you don't need to worry. So let us make a fool of ourselves. It's not anything. Okay. All right. So the first person is Oluwafemi. You just won the fortune. So, and you get a few seconds to ask your question, but not now. Start to think about the question. So then we roll the wheel again, so that the next person would kind of ask the question. Oluwafemi, start thinking about your question. Okay, cool. Latifat, please. Okay, Oluwafemi, your question, and Latifat is answering.
Okay, my question is, can you give us an example of projects you've run and how your involvement was able to that success?
Okay, a sample of the project. Can I have a scribe, please? Can I have a scribe, a volunteer to be writing these questions down? So at the end of this call, we'll send this question out. A scribe.
I can do that.
Okay, who is that?
Tolulope.
Tolulope. Okay, Tolulope, thank you so much. Yeah. So Tolulope is doing that. Okay. So after this session, please do send it out. Yeah. So
project I've run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, could you
Latifat.
repeat the question? I didn't hear it too well, the last bit.
Okay, the question is, can you give us examples of what projects you've run in the past and how your involvement led to the success or failure?
Projects that you run in the past and also the success of those projects, right? So
Okay. So a project I've run in the past was, sorry for the background noise. I raised awareness of homelessness within a community group. And my success within this project was I was responsible for finding the team, allocating different roles within the team, raising the funds for the project, as well as encouraging different members of the community who were not previously aware of homelessness to be more considerate and compassionate to different projects in the area. The success is I was able to raise over £4,000. I was able to get local employers to take on young people in internships. And at the end of it, the young people were in a better position than when they started in regards to homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That is wonderful actually, because you are also talking about projects that are not related to the work as well. That is one actually, which I think is kind of, some people will be passionate to hear that even after work, you also involved in that. Some people, even that question can also be in the fact that what do you do after work? Some people already asked me actually. That's where even maybe that's the reason some of the mentors are here as well. To be honest, when they ask me what do you do at work, as I said, yeah, I do Blue Sky. And what is Blue Sky? To be honest, if you ask me about what is Blue Sky, that means you've already kind of lost the chance to talk. I can be there for almost how many days talking about Blue Sky. So yeah, so that means that is me driving the interview. If you ask me about that, you get it now. So that is profound. Thank you so much. Another thing that also you want to talk about also will be the project that is work related as well, because some people also want to talk about that as well. So for those guys that are going to be answering the same questions, okay? So, okay, all right, let's spin the wheel again, please.
So Deji, sorry, can you talk about the two projects? Can you talk about two projects, then one relating to work and the other one relating to your voluntary after work thing?
Sure. Yeah, sure,
Okay.
you could do that. Yeah. Okay, Adura, yeah, your prayer is answered. All right, so you're going to ask the questions. Let's pin the next, please. Yeah. So, okay, Titilayo. Okay, Titilayo. So, okay. So, Adura, you asked the question, and Titilayo, you answer. Another thing, guys, you can Google these questions as well. So, even as is another level of preparation. All right. So, if you know where the questions are online, so do Google them out as well. Okay.
Okay, my question will be one of the very popular ones. How did you handle a difficult stakeholder?
Thank you. So, Titilayo, how did you handle a difficult stakeholder? Titilayo. Okay, can we spin the wheel again, please? Can we note that name down, please? Jamin, how did you deal with difficult stakeholder?
Well, first you have to try and reach out to make communication with the
Okay,
stakeholder.
all right. 1 minute, Jamin. I want to correct this. So now when they ask you questions like this is scenario questions, right? So how do you address scenario questions? Can someone quickly? There's a technique that you use, right? Someone want to talk about that?
You
Or Jamin,
personalize
you know?
it.
Yeah. Sorry.
You personalize it when you
You
answer.
use a star technique.
Okay, yeah. So that
Use
those
an
two
example.
answers are right, actually. So one, you use a star techniques, and also your star should also be personalized star techniques. Do you get it now? So you should do that. So one thing I tell my mentees, like, your interview should be story based, right? Story says, to be honest, story they said. So, and that's where you have Nollywood, Bollywood, Hollywood. I don't know whether there will be Kannywood, Hollywoods actually. So yeah, because they said story. So you need to know the stories that you want to kind of sell, right? Everyone will actually see a story. So Jamin, now Do you know STAR techniques? Quickly, if you don't, we'll pass it across. And yeah. Jamin, you are muted now.
Sorry, I said I'm familiar with the term.
You're familiar
But-
with the term, but you don't know what it is, right?
Yeah. not
Okay,
sure
all right.
if I'm-
Can someone please explain to us what's a STAR techniques? What is actually STAR? If you want to shout it out or raise your hand.
STAR is situation, task, action, and result.
Situation, task, action, and result. Okay, all right. So now quickly, can someone, I'll come back to Jamin, right? So someone that want to, use this scenario, if you want to raise your hand, okay. How did you deal with difficult stakeholder using STAR techniques? Well, let's first talk about what's the situation. Okay, all right, let's, Daniel.
Yeah, the situation in my 5 years experience as a Scrum Master, I've worked with different levels of stakeholders, some good, some bad. So I will start with that. However, I do not really accept calling someone a difficult stakeholder. Rather, I call them demanding stakeholders. People have different behaviors. The question is, have these people taking their time to see why that person behaves that way? So that's the situation. It's a difficult stakeholder. I mean, a demanding stakeholder that I'm dealing with now. So when I was working as a Scrum, working for our PIC resources, we were building an electronic data management system. The EDM system was to take care of all the recording functions, which included organizing shifts of healthcare workers, doses of medications given to patients. All of this in a legacy system was done manually, so we were going digital. And because it was manual, it took a lot of space. That is paper everywhere. Tracing all files was almost impossible. Confidentiality was not properly managed as a result. There was a matron who I had to work with who has over 22 years experience. So she knew everything about this company. She was an encyclopedia. Also, likely you will be going to her, and I had to elicit requirement from her because she was a key member of the company. I called for meetings, sent an emails, but no replies or response from her. I still did not call her difficult because I have not used every other measures that are available. So fortunately, during the end of the year party, I decided to give her a lift after the party. As the taxi was, there was no Uber, taxi got scarce. So we started discussing, I familiarized myself with her, and I told her it was a beautiful party. She said she enjoyed it. And then I quickly chipped it in that, do you know that we might not be able to have this kind of party next year? And she was surprised. She asked me why. And I told her, and she told me that they have been having this party for the past 20 years. I then started explaining the problem, the benefit of my project, or the negative impact that is to be considered. I told her the Health Quality Commission is already beginning to fine us every quarter because of poor confidentiality management in the care company. There have been massive errors in care assistance given overdose of medication because there has been missing manual script which were not well documented. People privacy is not properly managed. So because of this, we might not have a party next year if they fine us heavily. So the EDM project is here to solve all that problem, I told her. And then she was very inquisitive. So because of the way I brought it to her, and I won't be able to give my 100% on this project if I'm not getting full support from her and her colleagues. So she said, Daniel, you know what? I can confide in you. Me and people in my department are not tech savvy. I won't be able to work with you. And that is why we have been avoiding you, because we are scared. I was numb. And I told her I was going to work out this, how we are going to do it. I asked her whether she has Facebook. She said yes. I told her, okay, we will design this like the Facebook and we will do it together. I designed wireframes, the wireframes that the team has developed. We sat with her and she sees the system like it's life. As a result of that, she became an expert of the EDMS system because it was designed well in front of her and she knew about it. So she also even started posting me to other stakeholders to elicit requirements. Eliciting was going perfect, then the system was designed. Even after the system was designed, that particular stakeholder, called her Mary, was still teaching others how to operate it. It was a win-win for me. I moved a difficult stakeholder to a collaborative and a supportive one, and the project became a success. I so much enjoyed it that she too introduced me to other people that whenever she's not around, these are the people that I can elicit data from, and the project was a success. So that is the way I used my, when I attended the interview, that's the way I came back home to write this one down after I've attended the interview using the STAR technique.
Thank you so much, Daniel. What do you guys think?
My friend was not around.
Very well done.
What do you guys think?
Wonderful.
To be honest, sometimes when you do
And
a platform like this,
that
was cool.
Yeah, and you see something like that, you
Mhm.
kind of got encouraged to say, this is the reason why this
Yes,
platform was
mommy.
created, actually.
Educative.
So, and really, I was really impressed, to be honest. That was good. That was good. So, yeah, I don't know how to become a Father Christmas. So, speak to my admin, speak to me. Let's talk about, how we can get you some voucher into
Thank you very much.
To be honest, that was good. So now, follow up from that. I'm going to ask you a few questions, or maybe this guy can ask. Let me ask the guys actually. So if you spin the wheel now, the question will be like, Jamin, right? If you're there, right? So what was the situation? And bear in mind, quick question to maybe you, or feedback quickly before I go into that question, before I forget. Daniel, I really don't know your role in that particular company. I was a bit confused, right?
I was playing the role of a BA and a business analyst.
But you said that you were a Scrum Master before as well.
Yeah.
Do you get it now?
Yeah.
So that's where you need to, be careful, because you lost me in that, to say, is he a Scrum Master or is he a BA? But except from the first introduction that you mentioned Scrum Master, do you get it now? And now kind of get that, okay. Because at the point when you mentioned I was eliciting the requirement, I thought, this is not a role of a Scrum Master. And then you kind of moved on from that. But it's really perfect for a BA role, right? Really good, actually. So, but Scrum Master is not. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so that means, right? So do you want to give that a try? I'm going to give you an option now. Do you want to give that a try, or you want to analyze this situation right now? I want to see what's the situation, what is the task, what's the action, what's the result?
Sorry, Mr. Deji, before you talk, I quickly want to give him a feedback so that he doesn't.
Okay, please.
The only feedback
Right,
is the story went well, and like Mr. Deji pointed, your role was confusing between SM and BA. But the major feedback I want to give you is confidence was not the problem. However, when you're talking, especially if it's a virtual call, don't let it almost seem as if you're reading. At some point, I had the feeling that maybe you were reading it from somewhere. And funny enough, you could have been saying it from your head. So you have to say your story in a real way, like you're thinking from your head. So put that reality a bit in it. It was a very good one, don't get me wrong, but you need to be mindful of how they can sense whether you're reading or not. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, Daniel, but that's my feedback on you.
Yes, I
understand. Were you reading?
Oh, yeah, confess, be serious. Were you reading?
I wasn't reading. My voice was just shaking because I'm even sweating. Now, that's one of the things I want to talk about as well.
Okay. Well, you've kind of thought about this story before, right?
Yeah, because I've been practicing questions.
Okay,
I've been
that
practicing.
Is good. That is good. So to be honest, like normally I tell people in the advance. Yeah, I think Olawumi also knows that. So when I normally give this feedback as well, like she's done at the end of the feedback, and I'll tell you that I am not the right person to give feedback. Do you get it now? I can only give feedback, but the best person to give feedback will be the recruiter themselves. Do you get it now? So
Yeah.
I can only say, oh, do this, do this, do that. So, and you'll be able to get better at that. But it's like your tutor will prepare for exam, but who's going to mark your skill? It's not your tutor now, it's the examiner. So do you get it now? So yeah. So I think so you just want to see that you are not sitting or like Olawumi is not sitting, like someone like her is not sitting as a panel. Do you get it now? I'm thinking that is this guy reading or not? Do you get so that's what you want to fix. Do you get it now? So okay. Thank you so much, Olawumi, for that feedback. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Jamin, please.
So, in my experience dealing with a difficult situation from a stakeholder where there were maybe communication problems where, I've had to bring the team together or find out what the challenge is or the difficulty is. Obviously, the task is to find out what's making the communication breakdown, to understand from team members what the challenge is, to speak to the stakeholder, to find out where it's necessary, where we can bring it together, make a timetable to understand each other's schedule, why is there a challenge, and what we could adapt or adjust for each other. And I think ultimately, when everyone's on the same page, when there's clear guidance on when things are, when there's a clear schedule, I think that helps to be able to drive results with everyone being on the same page, team, the stakeholder, obviously attending meetings at the right time with everyone else on board. I think that can help drive results.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, but one thing that you need to also drive home is the result itself, actually. What did you get out of it? Do you get it now? So, what is the final outcome of that situation? Do you get it now? So, one thing I also want to tell you guys, actually, so I'll tell you, even within your team, you have difficult stakeholders, actually. And another thing, I don't know what my team, I mean my advanced team has done within your group, because sometimes I've also asked them to be difficult in some instances so that you can be able to get some scenario out of this particular program as well. So having said that, there are also some member of your team that are also difficult as well. And I was dragged into a meeting in one of the teams that are saying this person is not doing this, they are clashing and everything. I said, take it all joy. This is why you are here. And even more often as a Scrum Master, you're going to learn from people as in what your major role will be more of like a people's management anyway. Do you get it now? You want to learn how to interact with that. So if you are in a situation whereby you have conflicts within your team, take it all joy, to be honest, which I want to encourage you. Then you'll be able to kind of go out and talk about this scenario. You're not even making it up. You're all talking about what your BA did and how you're able to address it and how you turn the team around as well in terms of situation, tasks, your action, and the result. Do you get it now? The same way applies to maybe a BA to a Scrum Master or a BA to a BA. Do you get it now? Most of the BAs, you have the situation, some of the BAs already kind of went out, or how you encourage your BA not to resign because he was, do you get it now? You wanted to go with, so, and you're able to kind of rally around, help the person, and then your team kind of get resolved from that particular BA or Scrum Master or QAs, to be honest. So, and one thing I've also got involved before now at work is when I wanted to move from one process to the other, changing a team from waterfall to agile. That is terrible. So also changing from one team from, let's say, version 1, which is an agile application, to Azure DevOps. That's another thing. That's a situation, right, where people already there, they are used to the system, they're used to the situation, they don't want to change. So what did I do? Right, the first thing is to did a demo, right, of that new system that we are doing into. So help them to see the purpose why we need to do that. I think one of those one when the place I actually met Dan, I was his QA lead and also as a Scrum Master. Those two roles kind of overlapped at that particular time anyway. So, and I actually changed their system completely from version 1 to what's it called, Azure DevOps. It was not Azure DevOps at that particular time. We call it TFS actually. So, but the issue was the test director or development director or development lead at that particular time was really a bit terrible. He didn't want that to change because they've got a lot of things, and maybe it was the one that even set it up as well. So I was actually kind of racing against the tides actually in that essence. But one thing when we kind of come together, like say, okay, your team are having two applications, right? One is version 1, one is well, I think at that particular time they have Visual Studio as well to push their code. They are using Git as well to push their code, and as you can, I think they are also using VCS as well. So all this you have to be logging out from one to log into another person to log into. For having TFS, everything is together in one repository, everything. So, but one of the issues they had was like, who is going to configure it? Do we have the manpower? I was able to offer myself to kind of set it up for them from beginning to the end, even though that was not even my role actually. So then I actually kind of stepped into because I was not employed as a Scrum Master at that particular time. I actually stepped into the Scrum Master role because of that. So because they didn't know, then I had to train them as well. So eventually it was good, and even the management saw it and was like, we actually saved them money on the license or having to buy version 1, which I think was like 10,000 per, I think per year or per month. I don't remember right now, but that was what the company actually saved. And the guy also was happy as well because their team was happy. So that was him was so difficult for me to convince, but eventually when he saw the result, he was able to align and we're able to deliver it. So yeah, you can talk about different scenarios that you've had actually. So that's one thing. Okay, let's move on. Unless anyone has got any questions, let's move to the next person. Can you spin the wheel, please? Okay, Justina, so you're going to ask a question, Justina, and the person to answer the question, can we spin the wheel? I know some people will be praying now. Hopefully it's not going to be me. It's not me. All right, Natalie, okay, please. Justina to ask the question. Do you have Justina here in the kitchen? Okay. Do you have Natalie as well?
I'm here. Justina is here.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you want to ask your question, please?
Yes. What are the important documents prepared by a BA?
What are the importance of
documents prepared by a BA?
What are the importance of documents prepared? What type of document? What document?
I think what she said is, what are the documents prepared by BA?
BA.
Oh, okay. What are the documents? Okay, I thought what's the importance. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, let's see, Natalie.
User story, wireframe.
Okay. User story, wireframe. Okay, that's good. Okay. Can I have other person? Yeah. So, and another thing, Natalie, so don't just say user story, wireframe, and you have to kind of, expatiate on those, expand it. The one thing I tell people, I think I spoke to these guys in the advance yesterday about this. Someone asked this question: how long do I need to talk? How was the duration of when you are answering a question? How many minutes do I need to take to answer those questions? And I said that every question that you answer should be within 3 to 5 minutes if you can. Actually, you can see what Daniel did. I think that scenario will be around 4 minutes actually, even for those long questions like that. Don't spend more than 5 minutes, right? So even if you have to say more, let's say someone asks you, can you go through agile cycle, right? Or have you worked in an agile before, right? Don't just say yes, I have worked in agile. Yeah. So for instance, if someone asks you, have you worked in agile? You want to explain agile process. To be honest, you can be there and be still talking about this agile process for the next 15 minutes or half an hour. And to be honest, of course, you know, some of your mentors have done this like 2 sessions, 2 hours, and we've not finished. You get it now. But you are going for an interview, they ask you that question. So how do you do justice with that within 5 minutes? I don't think you could, right? So, but you can make your question answer to be, you know, detailed and also as well as concise as well. So, but if you still need more time to answer that, a good approach will be like, I still have more to answer. Do you still want me to add more? So with that, you are getting feedback. Do you get it now? So that they will say, okay, carry on, or don't worry, we've had enough. Some of them, even before you reach that 5 minutes, they already cut you short. But don't spend 5 minutes for the sake of 5 minutes. And one thing I said, most of your questions that you want to answer, at least, even if it's so short, like this one that Natalie already answered, let it be 2 minutes as a rule of thumb, actually. So as you have that at the back of your mind, you will know that, what do I need to add to this question? Do you get it now? Do I need to add more? Do I need to, yeah, so that I don't say, oh, list this, and you just list that. You list and you explain what that is. Do you get it now? So these are the documents that BA creates, and they are used for this, they are used for that, they are used for that, they are used for that. For instance, this particular question, now for a BA, you can be there for 10 minutes, but you don't want to be. Do you get it now? You can list them and start start to explain what they do, right? Then also make sure that there's a time that you have to pause and ask for feedback from them. Ed, I can see you got your hand up.
Yeah, I was going to say they gather requirement from the stakeholders and then prepare the requirement documentation, where they will now start designing their functional specification as well, which means they'll start they start designing their acceptance criteria, and then the wireframe comes in on how to develop the application.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Thank you so much. Does anyone okay, we'll move on this one, right? And the answer to this question is in the tags are sent out, right? Fortunately, right. Quickly, I didn't care. Johnson. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. So you just said you would then also ask them for feedback. How would we ask them for feedback in that kind of question? Would you like me? Would you like me to explain further, or to expand on what I
Exactly
just
like
said?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to explain further, because I still have a lot to, yeah. Yes, that is the feedback I'm looking for, so that you don't just continue talking and you lose them. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. So, like, the detailed answer to that question, right, is in the BA tags I sent out. I think I listed like 7 documents that a BA should produce. So you want to talk about those documents, and I've said I want to see those documents or sample of them in your report on this Sunday, on this in this particular Sunday, so, or the next Sunday rather. So, and also you want to explain what the document is for, not only writing about the document. What exactly is it? If you talk about a elicitation document, what is it for? Who actually owns it, right? Who prepares it? Most of them, I'll say BA should prepare it anyway. So, but it's good to put that. Who prepares it? Who is it for? Do you get now? Who reads it as well? Do you get now? What does it do? Before you now talk about that document as well. Because you want to go for an interview and say, I did this particular document is because it's for this reason, it's for this particular purpose. That is the purpose of that particular tax for the BAs. Okay. All right. So the next person to ask question is Olaniwa Alade, please. Olaniwa Alade. Okay. So now the person to answer the question, right? Should we go to you or not? I think you've been answering a lot of questions. Okay. Bola is answering the question. Okay. Alade. So do we have Bola here as well?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. So let's keep. So Bola, you ask question now. Then the next person would kind of answer the question. Okay, all right. So it's Loretta. So Bola, your question, and Loretta is answer. Do you have Loretta? Loretta, please.
Yes, please, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, Bola, what's the question?
Loretta, can you explain your position in terms of your role within your team and what you did to ensure that your team was successful?
Okay, your role within your team. And so quickly, before you go to that, I'm going to give you a quick task for everyone, right, in your team, right? So every member of your team, I think the Scrum Master should collate it. Okay, based on your own role, right, I want you guys to each individual person write 10 questions, right? Interview questions, 10, right? 10 questions, write them out. And then that means if you have 15 people in your team, that will be 150 questions. Yeah. So you also want to put in your framework as well. I think you can put that in text anyway. So that's when these are our questions. Just go through them and that's fine. So I want that also before in the report as well. That's like 10 question individual person, right? Then you collect it together. Thank you. So it will be related to your role. Okay. All right. Bola, sorry. Can you repeat the questions again?
I wanted Loretta to tell me in terms of her specific role, what she did and how she played a part to the success of her team.
Okay. Loretta.
Yeah.
Anna, you are showing your camera, please, if you want to put that off. So Loretta, please.
As a Scrum Master, I facilitate sprint ceremonies, ensuring that my team can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Right, as I was saying, I ensure that my team follow the agile principles.
No pressure. Okay, just bring it out.
Sorry, can you repeat the questions again? The question again.
Yes, this session.
I'm not prepared for this.
Yeah. If something like this happened at interview, right, and you blank out, right, how will you do, right, Loretta? What's the right approach?
I'll just ask if they can repeat the question again.
Okay, all right.
Look for something to say.
Okay, all right, Bola.
Okay, so I know your role as a Scrum Master. So I was saying, can you explain your role within the team as a Scrum Master, and also explain what you did to make to enable your team to be successful? Yeah, I started with facilitating sprint ceremonies. Like I mentioned the sprint ceremonies like sprint planning,
like the daily stand-up. I'll mention all the sprint ceremonies and talk about them on how we do. Then I'll also go further to say that I support the team to make sure they follow the hijack principle. I said that before. Then I ask them if there is any impediment. I help them take out the impediment. If it's something I can do, if it's something that I need to talk to the PO about, I escalate to the PO. I think I'll just talk about it like that.
All right. Thank you so much, Loretta. Nice try. Let's have another person. I'll give an insight, right? This particular question also, you could use a star approach for, right? You can use a star approach for as well. So to see what the situation is, what your tasks are, the actions, and also as well as the result at the end. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, Emmanuel.
Thank you. That's a good question, and I'll just I'm Emmanuel, and driven, and using my expertise based on the Scrum Master, I prioritize my team building, leadership, and control management, and also I engage in problem solving skills to ensure that my teams are running well and collaboratively. And also I've got my three main strengths that I highlighted, which is teamwork, communication, and time management. And my technical expertise in sprint planning, review, and team chartering as well help me to be able to set up their job board and also onboard team members also. And so far, I've successfully onboarded team members and organizing sprint planning, and as well engage in daily stand-up rituals, and also with my team members, and also offer assistance when needed, and serve as a coach by mediating disputes between teammates. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask the question again to another person, but now be specific. Let's roll the dice. So, and the question, I choose to that particular question is like, what is your main achievement in your role? What's your main achievement? So start bringing it in anyway. Okay, Olajide, what's your main achievement? Do you have Olajide there?
Yes, is it Olajide or which Olajide?
Yeah, of course, that would be you. The other person is only Olajide now.
Okay. My achievement, as a QA, I've been able to participate in our project, write test cases, do the steps, and configure our automation framework.
Okay. Nice try. Thank you so much. The reason I asked this question is because of this, actually, because yesterday in the advance, as I was reviewing the CVs for some people, I find that some people put achievement on their CV, right? And when you talk about achievement, this should go, it should be more than your day-to-day activities. If you are employed as a QA, right, your achievement is not, I'm able to do, what's it called? Testing, right? Because that's what you are meant to do, right? Your achievement is not, yeah, of course, the achievement could be that you are employed as a manual tester, but you did automation. That's it. That is achievement in its own, right? So, and as a Scrum Master, your achievement is not like I did daily stand-up. Yeah, but of course, you achieved it, but it's not an let me say highlighted achievement. Do you get it now? Something that you wow everyone that you've done exceptionally well. That's what when you talk about achievement, something that it's out of ordinary. It's not part of your day-to-day, right? But you pick that up and you are able to do it, right? That's the reason for doing this. So we might need to look inward, like, yeah, So for you guys to look at what is really my achievement, even in this particular framework, even the fact that you are not supposed to coach someone, right? You didn't apply, but you kind of encourage someone within the team and you coach the person or you mentor the person is an achievement, right? Do you get it now? Even within your team, there will be lots of things that you've done. So okay, so that's just a feedback from that. I think everyone should kind of look into that. Okay, all right, let's spin the wheel again. Yeah. So this next person, you would yeah, you will ask the question, then the next person will answer. Okay, Okoyemi, so you would ask the question, then so the next person would answer.
Okay. Thank you. My question is, what is agile testing and what is the importance of agile testing?
Okay, so Bolaji Adesanya, what is agile testing and what's the importance of agile testing? Yeah. Abolaji, is Abolaji there?
I think we are more than one Okoyemi here.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll come back to you as well. So that's fine. I think there's another Okoyemi. Okay. All right. So you okay.
Agile testing is a methodological that help developer test code continuously and rapidly.
Okay. One, are you reading it or you just kind of
That's what I can remember.
Okay, all right. Okoyemi, since you've actually spoken as well. What is but your name is not showing as Okoyemi, it's showing Ades Inventory anyway. So yeah.
Unfortunately today.
Yeah, all right, cool. What is agile testing and what is the importance?
Agile testing is a kind of methodology that you can use that developers use that is more safer than the waterfall system. In agile testing, you can complete every process at each stage, not like waterfall that you have to complete everything and present it to the product owner. But with the agile testing, you can quickly complete 8 steps and be able to, give out the products as soon as possible. I think that's agile testing, the new method of that are used by developer, which is better than the waterfall method.
Okay. All right. So okay, can we have another person? That's good. And one thing I can tell you, guys. So some of these questions are not as straightforward as it could be, and they could also be straightforward as well, to be honest. So that's one thing you might also need to, okay, Mary S. So I'm coming back to, Mary S. Do you want to give that a try as well? So, but you need to look at those two words and then combine them together, actually. So another thing, who says you cannot use Google as well? And ChatGPT is also there as well. I asked someone to do that last time, actually, for the interview. Use ChatGPT for your interviews as well. Do you get it now? So for those guys doing that, bring it up, put ChatGPT there, and put the questions. It gives you the answer directly, and off you go. Then you are able to kind of, of course, don't now start read the question like I'll ChatGPT give it to you. Okay, Mary S. Who's Mary S? Mary S. Okay, Emmanuel.
Testing agile is obviously helpful in the sense that it allows flexibility, and it's actually testing software in small frequent increments and continuously providing feedback to the development team. And also it helps to catch defects early in the development processes and also reducing the cost and time required to fix them.
No, yes, just Google now. Thanks you.
All right. So it's good. Another thing that you need to bring to bear now is relating it to your work. And in most cases, when you actually when I answer a question, I answer it practically, right? Yeah, thank you for that question. So yeah, at my workplace, we use agile testing, right? Then this is what we do. We run it iteratively. Now you are not giving textbook answers, right? You get it now. You are giving practical answers. You are relating it to your work. What you said right now, Emmanuel, you kind of now relate it to, yeah, at my workplace, we use agile testing because it's done in iteration. And to be honest, even running through your day-to-day, how as a tester, right, within an agile team is more of that. You have BDD, you have user stories. Do you get it now? So those are the things that, yeah, acceptance testing, yeah, exploratory testing, all those things. So it's part of agile testing or approach or methodology. Then also, yeah, because of we do that, it saves us time. It also reduces documentation and flexibility. So as for some of these things, I will send a document also everyone can read it. Actually, they're also there in you once you Google it out. All these are there anyway. Okay, but thank you so much for trying that. And also, Emmanuel, you've been really answering the questions today. So speak to my admin. Maybe we'll look at something for you as well. So well done. So I've got a few minutes.
Oh,
So
thank you
before
very much, sir.
yeah. Okay. So okay. All right. Cool. Any other? Okay. Rexford. Should we ask him to answer? Okay. You're going to ask a question. Okay. And the second person would answer. Okay. Okay, Ukeme, this is your lucky day.
Yeah, so hi,
question?
Yeah, hi, Ukeme. So how do you handle conflict with your coworkers?
So first of all, what I do is to understand their personality.
Okay, quick one question. So like I said, don't answer it theoretically, right? Put a story. For instance, oh, I remember John. I work with John, right? John is this. Do you get it now? Then you, as you are doing that, that's why I said even your questions you have introductory. So you already know how to approach the questions. So as you are gathering your thoughts, you already put the introduction there. Oh, I remember John. I work with John in this particular project. It's a blah blah project. This project is about that. You are as that one you already have in your head. Do you get it now? But you are still gathering your thought to answer the question is there. But you are putting that introduction there. So as a filler, do you get it now? And then you gather your thoughts together. Is that okay?
Yes. Can you ask again, please?
Yeah, so how do you deal with conflict with your coworkers?
So I had a colleague that that was difficult to manage. Difficult in the sense that everything that was done was almost unacceptable. And although he couldn't, not like he could really act on, not like really make any work easier. So what I did, the first thing I did was to approach the person to understand what the issue was, and also get to understand the background of the problem, if it was anything personal or if it has to do with work. And we had to talk over a lot of things to understand that being difficult had to do not being difficult had to do with managing the roles, and since business objectives had to be met. I also had to explain to him that if it is anything personal, then approaching me will be better. And if it is nothing personal and it is work, then what we need to do is to make sure that everything we do is to achieve business objective. Although I also had to get a senior colleague involved. But at the end of the day, we had understanding and were able to work together better again.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, that's good. So now, like, we're going to stop in maybe 2 more actually. Like I said, I've given you, what's it called? It's going to be, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting going forward, to be honest. So I've given you a task. This is very, very important, that I want you guys to write 10 questions, right? So, and to collate it together. So what's going to happen, I will ask my developer to bring out something, maybe a software that we can do this, because I want it to be fun. So we are going to answer it ourselves as well, right? So what's going to happen, like, we are going to answer the question and would kind of rate all the answers for different person, right? So the person that came first will get a prize. Maybe it's going to be like full scholarship to advance, actually, right? So for that, so please brace up for that. So it's going to be you looking at the questions and giving points. I don't know how we're going to do it, but of course, maybe within the time that we have, there'll be software so that we can actually quickly flash out to, so that we can be able to rate those answers. So at least maybe we'll even have 5 winners actually. That, I think that's fine. I can still give 5 people. Of course, these people will be, I would say, of course, it's going to be 100%, yeah, discounts into advance anyway, because this is going to be a big one. So you have to, and that would mean that at least you will answer like 50 questions anyway, interview questions actually. So to be honest, there's no how you're going to go through this. You will not get ready or prepare for interviews. You get it now, and you will not be afraid because you've kind of done your bit anyway. So that's one last thing. I'm talking about this as well. Like I said, interview, there's a bit of preparation, right? There's a bit that you don't know, right? So what you want to do before you go for interview is to remove as many unknown as possible, right? As many unknown as possible means that you go in interview, you know that I am kind of like 70% prepared, 30% you don't know, right? But you don't want to go for interview with the fact that you are not even 110% sure of what they're going to ask. Do you get it now? But the 30% that you are not so sure is what you leave the interviewer to ask, that you don't know if they're going to come and ask this question. So that could throw your balance, but that could also be fine. But you don't want to go for an interview without being prepared. That's the point of this exercise. To be honest, for this next 3 or 4 weeks that we're going to go through this, I'm really, really excited that it's going to be good at the end. So that I want to see most of you guys before you finish in April that tell me that I've got 6 interviews, 5 interviews, I've got jobs, because it always happen before we finish at the end of the internship for people to get jobs. I really want to look into this. Okay. All right. Quickly, Jolade, you're going to ask your question. Okay. And then the next person is going to answer. Eniola, you got your answer.
Yeah, I was thinking that can I answer the question that said how do you manage conflict?
Okay, please go for it.
Okay, as a Scrum Master, I believe that an open communication and a collaboration for the team is good. And there was this project I was working on at Blue Sky. There was a conflict between the team, the developer, and the developer was really angry about one of the other team member that delay of not actually the developer, I would say the QA, but the developer got angry, and the QA was asking that there was a delay from the developer that's not doing his job, and is affecting our velocity, and there was an argument between both of them that the developer should do the work on time so that the QA can pick it up and the QA can be able to test the story. And so both of them started arguing on each other during the meeting. And as a Scrum Master, I saw that that is an impediment for me to remove. So during that time, after the meeting of our daily stand-up, I asked the two teams, both of them, to wait behind so that we can have this conversation in the parking lot. So, and at the parking lot, I asked more details of what happened from the QA, and the QA elaborated on what was going on. And then the developer was like, you know, that I'm doing 2 projects, I'm kind of overbooked. And so I was like, okay, if that is the case, is there any other way that we can look about the effort of the story, if we can remove, if we can bring it down, rather than making a high effort on the story? And then the developer was like, okay, that's fine if we can break it down so that you would help him to be able to work on time on the story, so that he'll be able to put it on the developer done, and the QA can pick it up from there. And I said, okay, let's do this within our coming sprint and see how this is going to work for the developer. And it was okay, well, that's fine. So the coming sprint, we're able to estimate not very high, a little bit lower from the previous sprint. And at the end of the sprint, it was a success. So everybody were able to finish that task on time, and we are able to move the story to done. And during the demo, we have a very good feedback from the stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. That was good. The only feedback I want to add is, one is the solution that you prefer, actually, which I think is good, but just bear in mind that because this particular person, his problem is kind of time, right? Because he's working on 2 projects. So, and having to kind of now ask that, okay, let's look into how we do estimation so that we don't 5 stories is now 3. So I might think that might not solve the problem, but the one thing that could solve the issue is capacity planning. Do you get it now? So that when you know that this person has got that commitment, instead of saying, okay, you've got you can work on 5 points, you can say, okay, yeah, maybe we should just only give you 2 points, or let's say 20 points, because sometimes, yeah, you can, instead of giving you 20 points, we just give the person 10 points to work on, so that, yeah, so at the end you manage the expectation, if that makes sense and all that.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but that was good. Thank you so much for putting that up. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, let's move on now. Adeolu Abosede, you're going to answer the question. Who was the person that we chose for the question?
It was Jolade.
Jolade, thank you. Yeah. So Jolade, do you want to ask your question, please?
Okay. What were your responsibility in the position you're in at the moment?
So, hi, sorry about that. So in my position at the moment, I work as a business analyst within Blue Sky Citadel within a project. And in my project, I work as a single business analyst. And among my responsibilities, I'll just mention a few of them, is obviously, apart from the generic responsibilities of a business analyst, as a business analyst, you need to be able to, gather requirements, do your requirement elicitation, requirement gathering in your product kickoff meeting. You need to have also analyze the business processes. As a business analyst, you want to improve business processes as well. So you do more like a business process re-engineering, analyzing what the processes are and how to improve that. You also do a gap analysis if necessary, which in most cases it is. You do a gap analysis, you analyze the as is and to be, it's all about improving processes and making the business better. And at the end of the day, it's about you driving that, pipeline and driving the bottom line to improve profit and improve customer satisfaction at the end of the day. So in this particular product that I'm working with, which is an online tutoring platform, what I'm trying to do is to improve the business process and to see how we can adapt this platform to be competitive with other platforms that are out there. So what I'm doing is I'm analyzing all the top learning platforms that are out there, and then seeing how I'm going to take my client platform and leverage whatever the resources that I have to create a leading learning platform for my clients at the moment. So those are among a few of my a few of my responsibilities. And I do employ a lot of tools in doing this. I do, like when I'm doing my gap analysis, and I do employ a number of tools, which is obviously, using my wireframe, using my part, being able to visualize my processes, because a lot of my stakeholders are non-technical, and I need to be able to carry them along, translating technical requirements and technical concepts into non-technical terms for them, so that they can have a better understanding of the project I'm working on, and they can be carried along at every point in time.
Wow, that was good. That was brilliant. Well done. That was good. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I've lost. I finished all my batches for today, but that was good. Well done for that. So yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, please reach out to the admin as well. Actually, so I think it's good. So because I really want to encourage a lot of people. That was brilliant.
Thank you
So,
very much.
I think on that note, it's good to kind of wrap up this one on that note. So thank you so much, everyone that has contributed, everyone that's been able to ask question or contribute the question. Just to get a quick feedback, I didn't get to answer a question, hopefully, and some of my mentors didn't get. And for those of you that were praying that it won't get to you, if your prayer was answered today, might not answer next time, it will get to you next time. So we'll write a program that maybe will stop at you anyway. So yeah, thanks to everybody. So quickly, thanks so much, Scribe as well. I think if you can send the question to us so that we can look into that, the one that we did today. And also thanks Wumi also for spinning the wheel of fortune actually for us. So before we go, can I quickly ask, has anyone got any question, or maybe some of the answers as well you want to kind of talk about it as well, or you got something to kind of quickly address? So let's use maybe half an hour that we have to do that, if that's okay. So okay, Ola Adenike Johnson, please.
Hi, Mr. G. So today I was having a look at some job roles, and there was one that came up that said, okay, as a manual test, they want a manual tester with at least minimum 2 years experience, but who is literally fighting and has that energy and the drive to become an automation tester, and they would like train you for that role. So I was thinking, okay, this would be a good opportunity to go forward with that. But with the experience of just this 3-month intensive internship, how would I apply for a role that wants 2 years, minimum 2 years experience?
So this is one of those questions that I don't answer. To be honest, okay. Based on the fact that I don't normally answer that actually. So, but one thing I can tell you, right? So, is the fact that a lot of us have got different ways that we can look at our previous role and look at what we do before, and look at, okay, is this similar to what we want to do now, and do that in that aspect. So, and another thing I want to also say is sometimes I've even here on this platform, I've some people actually got a role even with 6 months, right? Some people are looking for junior testers as well. So that's one thing. Junior BA, that's one thing. So I know some people also would put a lot of things in their CVs as well, which is So if God helps them, they are able to prove at interview. That also is is their own issues. To be honest, I'm not going to talk about that. And even though when I do review CV, I review it based on the content. I don't review it based on the that particular person. I know you, I don't know you. It's that's me. So I not say, okay, put this in your CV. It's left for you to do whatever you want to do on that. So and like I said, you look at what you are comfortable to do, and and you can do those. So but having
So I
said
could
that,
just go in there with the confidence and with my experience of other jobs and use those skills to show them that I am, a valuable asset to their team.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So if you're able to get the audience to be able to show them what you could do. So even right now, if, for instance, if you already have a little exposure to automation, right, you can send your Git and say, okay, I'm learning automation, but this is what I've got, blah, blah, and try to motivate it. You get it now. Most especially if it's coming directly from the clients as well. I mean, the recruiter, not even external recruiter. It just makes a lot of sense because you are actually talking to the person that's in charge, and they can look at that and say, I think I want this particular person. This person hasn't got enough experience, but I like the attitude of this person. Do you get it now? So that's one thing that also could happen as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. A bit me, please.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't know my hand was up. It was just an observation, but on Adela's question, she started like more of saying you. So I just wanted to say next time try to personalize it as a role. Although she ended well, but initially she was like you as a business analyst, you do. So it's better to say I did that. That was just an observation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think that this is good, and that's the reason for doing this actually. So that feedback, I had it at the back of my mind to give her, but the way she finished, I technically kind of forget right about that, and it could also happen at the interview that the person think I don't like this person. Maybe it's like how it happens in uh Britain Got Talent. You get it now. This person is not doing well, and maybe a judge already pressed a buzzer, and that person pressed a buzzer. Before you know, this guy just went boom, and it was like, whoa, where did you get that one from? Do you get it now? And also, it could happen at interviews as well. You think it's not going well, eventually, it just kind of bring everything like that, and you just change the mood. I think that what happened. I thank you so much for bringing that up actually, because I think that will happen. And I know, yeah, I wanted to correct this. Let me wait for her to finish, but as she finished that, and I thought this is brilliant, I totally forgot how she did. And coming back to it, that's why I really believe in the concluding part of your interview. It's so important. Do you get now? Right now, I forgot my feedback, which is yeah, unless I wrote it them because I didn't write them actually. So the same way interview sometimes, so they didn't write anything, but the later part of your interview is very, very important so that yeah, you wrap everything up and they forget all your sins that you might have done before and they look into the last part. So yeah, thanks. Gani Ali.
Hi. Can you mention the book name again? I tried to order it on Amazon, but I can't find it. What I found was What a Paper Boy Learned About Business. Is that the one?
Yeah, that is the one. Yeah,
That's
what
the
the
one.
paper boy learned about business. If you can send the link to everyone so that yeah, that is the book. Yeah. So it's
Okay.
been a while. It's not how many pages is it?
I think
It's
let me
not it's
see. I can't see the page. It's just the first edition.
so if you want to share your screen, let me see. Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually using my phone to look it
Okay,
up.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
By
yeah,
by
what the paper
Jeffrey
boy
J. Fox.
yeah, I don't remember the name of the person, but it's quite good actually. Yeah. What the paper boy learned about business. I think that
Okay.
that is yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jamin.
Yeah, so just in regards to what you mentioned, well, the question before, what is your main achievement? So just in relation to a Scrum Master, what kind of things, if you can maybe give some insight, constitutes as achievements, would you say, in the real world?
So yeah, of course, yeah, having to switch one team from another. For instance, having let's say your team was waterfall, right, and you move them to agile. That is a great achievement. Do you get it now? Right. So then also in terms of release, right? If you let's say for instance now, most of you guys will say achievement in the sense that so at the end of this program as well, right? You've been able to release this particular application out on time, and this application, let's even count it as well. You guys have got also, let's say 4 Scrum Masters, 4 BAs, maybe 5 QA and 1 QA. Let's even say you are paid 350 per day for all the roles. Count them together, right? Add them together and look at how much is this particular project worth. I think you will run into 500,000 for because of the time, like 3 months for like 15 people, right? 15 people times how many days? That's almost like let's say 60 days, right? Then times 350 per day, right? So yeah, so having to say that I delivered 500,000 project within the time frame that, do you get it now? In itself is also an achievement as well. Right. Okay, Ed.
Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I think this was during the interview session. Someone contributed, and the person said that he was even sweating while he was doing this. So he wanted to know how to deal with that situation. Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that one. Because for me, I go for interview and I go and enjoy it. The same way I'm talking to you is where I actually speak at interviews. One thing there's a recording of an interview. Maybe I don't know that I will share, but I've also told that my guys in advance that I will share with them so that they see my morale at interview. I'm always relaxed. Do you get it now? So it's also good. So, and interview is not different from how you do your life as well. To be honest, don't think it's not do or die. It's yeah. So, and one thing, just I tell my mentees, enjoy it. To be honest, just enjoy, and when you get the job, you're going to miss it. To be honest, you're going to miss that process. So just enjoy. And one thing that also very, very important is to know that as you are doing the interview, they are interviewing you. You are also interviewing them as well. Do you get it now? It should be symbiosis relationship, right? That's one thing. Even though more often it's always one way actually, but you need to know that it's both sides. But of course, when you enter into the market and you are new, it's always going to be one side. They are interviewing you. You don't interview them, and it's so unfortunate that that is what it is. But one thing I can tell you, right, is that you two have got opportunity to ask questions as well, and know that if you have opportunity even to reject their interviews as well. Do you get it now? If they give you a job, you can say I don't want blah blah. You know that also is there. So I'll tell you a quick story. I'm coming to you, Bolu. So there's an interview I went, and the guy was only asking questions, and and I think there are 2 questions I did not know, right? I did not know. I was like, he asked me, I didn't know it was some question. And I asked him that, okay, do you mind telling me what the answer is? Right, the first attempt. And I said, I don't know this question, so but I also want to learn from you. So what exactly is the answer? And yeah, he said I should pass, that we should continue. Having said, I will tell you another instance. There's one guy, lady that came on this program three sessions ago. Actually, was apparently was the one that did the interview of one of the roles that I did. Actually, she's Caucasian, and to be honest, I went for the interview and I actually schooled them. I actually taught them during the interview. That was happened actually, but I got the job. But she asked me one question at the end. Everything went well. She asked me one question. I didn't know, and I said I did not know. And she asked me, and I said, "Do you mind telling me?" He said I should leave it, and he would. Of course, he actually discarded that. She actually told me that she did not also know as well. To be honest, that but that's fine, and that's it. So, but then when I got employed, and eventually I have to be a boss as well. So even I have to be a boss. But she came on this platform and she learned the automation and everything, and we came very close actually. But another one, this another training, another interview that went, and first interview, first question, I didn't know. I asked the guy said, don't worry, pass. And I said, okay, that's fine. So, and I went, I continued. And the second time again, and this question, I did not understand as well. And I asked him, and he said, oh, pass, and I should continue. And I said, at this time, I'm not doing this interview again. And he said, why? Because I said, even if you give me the job, I will not come to your company. Why do you waste my time? Do you get it now? Because this attitude I don't like, right? So, and you are looking as if it's going to be one way actually interview, which I think it was like no. And I also told him, I said, I will give the feedback to the agency the same way you give feedback. I also have an opportunity to give feedback. And he was begging me on the call. And I said, no, I'm not doing it again. Let's cancel. And that was it, actually. But I don't know whether it's confidence or maybe I was not looking for a job at that particular time, because maybe if I also in that a different situation, maybe it might also be different, because sometimes I go for interview not purpose of anything. I go just to kind of listen and also, see what is in the market. And because sometimes because of what I do as well, I need to be in the market, seeing what is happening, get myself also busy as well. Do you get it now? So that's one thing. But what if they offered me the job and I also like the interview, I might as well just accept and leave my company. So that's another thing. So you don't need to sweat it, I would say. So enjoy the process. Okay, Bolu, please. We can't hear you. Bolu?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can now.
Okay. Yeah, what I was saying is that even if it's physical or whether it is online, always imagine the faces of those that you are most comfortable with. It kind of relaxes you. For instance, if you are comfortable with hearing Deji's voice in your head, or you can imagine that it's Deji that is in front of you, that way it kind of relaxes the tension instead of shaking. So it's more like you are gisting with the person, like Deji was saying. It's more like you are talking. So if you can imagine, have that imagination at the back of your mind that you're talking to someone that you're most comfortable with, it helps with the nerves. But nerves is normal. Just ride on it and walk through the interview. And the thing is, as you are gaining feedback from them, you gain more confidence when you speak. So look out for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. So that it's even the confidence part is very, very important. So that's where you need to put yourself forward more, right? So, and interview is also even if you go for an interview, it doesn't go well, just leave it. Is good actually, because what happens, like some of you guys, you want to get some what's it called, experience, right? You are competing with people that have been doing it for 5 years and you got only a few months experience. So another way to get those experience is by going for an interview. So it's the best way to get feedback and know. And don't be demotivated when they give feedback, to be honest. Or even that also applies to when you apply for jobs and they say, unfortunately, we cannot take you. Take it all joy, right? So so that's one thing. So okay, I think thank you. That is place that this is the point that we draw the curtain. Hopefully this has been useful for everyone. So I will see you guys tomorrow when we're going to go through the CV again. And so then after that, there's going to be, initially I thought that it's going to be okay. I need to think about this. There's going to be API training tomorrow for the guy in Zeta. Is he thinking whether to expand it to everybody? Because I know some people are already kind of still struggling with automation testing. So having to join APIs with it, to be honest, is going to be a big challenge. So you don't need to worry about this. So, and there are a lot of jobs here, even for manual testing automation. So you don't need to learn about APIs. So because some people think, is it everything I have to learn before I get a job? No, the answer is no, right? So even manual testing role is there. I think you can see someone actually mentioned that. So, and also even manual testing with automation is there, API. There are a lot of fields in software testing, performance testing. Some people, that's what they do end to end as well. So if you want to join tomorrow, I will speak to the admin to see if you want to expand it to everybody, but don't feel pressure to join, to be honest, and that's what I can say. So, and yeah, for those guys in advance, if everyone needs to join this session as well. So please, this is very, very important. Yeah. So I think we've kind of discussed this before. So that is it. So for those guys that want to join the advanced team, so the link is already sent out. So one thing that I don't want is like, I think maybe I didn't also mention. So if it's already closed, it's closed. That's another thing, because there's a number I'm working towards, and not only that number, I'm working towards ratio as well. Ratio of Scrum Master to BA to QA, so DA to. So once those have passed, I know some roles are more what's it called? They're popular than the other. So if you're in that phase, right? So the application might be closed before you enter. So please, I would advise you to kind of, if you want to be in there, please do apply on time. But I'll maybe during the time I'll be able to talk more about this anyway. Yeah. Thank you so much for. Okay. All right. Quickly, Lola. I've got only a few minutes to finish. Lola.
Yeah, thank you, Deji. I was going to ask that, are we sending in our CVs to the admin? Because you've been talking about CV review.
Okay, no, you're not going to do that. So at the end of tomorrow, at the end of the session tomorrow, I will send you a form, right, where you would, upload your CV. Okay. So that is the one that you would use for tomorrow's going forward from tomorrow. So okay, at the end of that, you send your CV. You have few days up to maybe Friday, then next Monday. So by that Friday, Saturday, so we see maybe I might have time to review that. So then we come on Monday, then we'll be able to review that CV live on that session anyway. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you, everyone. So hopefully this session is good for you. And yeah, so and I will see you guys, I think, tomorrow for the CV, for the final part of the CV review. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Yeah. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Deji.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Everyone.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.